It's going to be kept alive by Myers. Can he get around Starsby? Topo got the ground. Oh, God, did you look? He was just held him at the very last moment.
Close leaps up, hands to it, no mark. Payne there with him. Close sockers it deeper forward. Myers in the pocket, running out of room. Keeps it alive. The silky skills. Myers, great cross.
It's unbelievable.
And Ollie Henry puts it in the back of the net.
Will work here for Brian Myers, kept it in, and then he sockers, and it's a goal. Can you believe that? It was Henry that kicked it from the pocket. Ridiculous.
Myers chases frantically, tapped it back in, socketed it at goal, and got there. Ollie Henry, the cross from Myers was straight out of FIFA World Cup.
Has anyone ever compared Myers to Messi?
Ah, yes, very nice, Jared.
That was a moment, eh? It's funny how things revisit on you, isn't it? The watch lists. The
They
watch
still
list.
delete their Twitter, mate.
David King, hello.
Hello, Jared.
Leigh Montagna,
Took a
welcome.
long time to embrace it, Jared, but I'm glad you
It took me a year. I got there at last. Righto, so you've each taken a team here and you're going to present a big asset, a match winner and a threat as we head towards the grand final. Kingy, you've got the honour with Sydney.
I've got the Swans, and for the Swans to win, I think they can turn into a bit of a foot race. I think they get them for speed on the outside. If it's not a kicking contest, and they can kick and run, catch and go, and try and force the Lions, who've been on the road, played 3 games in a row, they've only played the 2 Sydney, they're going back-to-back travels, make them defend for long periods, whether that's uncontested marking or out and go and run and see if they can come with you. Because they have an uncanny ability to make everyone defend. So look at this sort of play here, which we've shown from last week. So McInerney, I think, is a major player in this. Major player. The focus on the big 3. So you've got to defend every player here. So Port can't drop off anyone because their kicking skills will swing it back into the corridor as quick as you know it. So McInerney just embarrasses Wines for 10 steps. And that's all it takes. With the way they play, one lets you down, they're through. So it's only 3 metres here, 4 metres there. You think you got them, but you absolutely haven't got them. And if they get 100 marks, they're 10 from 10. Goulden, has Burgoyne absolutely got him locked away here, or is he just sort of in the area? You know what? You're just in the area. They want to get it to Heaney. They want to get it to Warner. They want to get it to Goulden. So they'll pick that off. So you've absolutely got to defend the whole length of the ground. Now, Parker's playing a role. That'll be on Harris Andrews, just dragging him back to the square if possible. And then you get one-on-one again. So you've got to defend the whole forward 50 lead. So I think they can run them and make it a physical challenge for Brisbane to come with them, given their run into the grand final versus Sydney's.
Who is your match winner?
Well, I think it's obvious, and everyone's talking about Isaac Heaney. I mean, I think it's been the singular best magnet move that I've seen for a decade. To go from a pseudo centre-half forward, 70% forward, 30% on-ball role, to pretty much 100% midfielder this year has been an absolute boom. And he gets you in so many different ways. I mean, he starts the fire in a clearance. He's one of those guys that's a tackle breaker. And then as soon as he's won the ball, he then just rolls forward. So all of his clearances are rolling clearances. So if you're not clamping him or aware of him, and Dunkley will probably get the job, if you haven't got him covered, this is what he does. He's destructive, he's a big frame, he's a big body, he's a beautiful kick, he's a beautiful mover. But at clearance, you've got to be on your game. And just watch the reaction here from Tom Green. He's ready for it, but he knows, oh, no, he's gone and got out the front. I love that.
Your best lab work.
Yeah, it took me weeks to find that. But this is what we're talking about, Joey, last week when we were saying about the mismatch. They know what he's like against like types or smaller. So in terms of being a target, of the top 80 targeted forwards in the competition, he's the best in the competition at turning a target entry into a goal. 40% of entries. And this here, the 2 best kicks inside 50 at retaining possession are Warner and Heaney. So if he gets it, he finishes it. So I know he's such a big talking point, but there's a reason. Yeah, what he does goes on the scoreboard. And if you're looking to tag someone, everyone's talking about Goulden, potentially Warner. Heaney's the one.
Okay. And the threat?
Well, the threat, and again, when you get to this stage of the year, the focus is really narrow and everyone's probably looking at the same sorts of things, is that Brisbane have now been able to go from a control game to a chaos game. So they're a dual threat now. whether it was just kick and catch and work the ball methodically down the ground. Now they can play chaos and they can attack the corridor. And their corridor ball movement has been unbelievable the last couple of weeks. We saw it live, Joey, a couple of weeks ago when they had to have it 7 goals down. But this here, you just don't see many teams in finals go through that part of the ground with such ease. So, they really went to town on Geelong in that second half, and their ball movement was terrific. They were able to score 9 times in the defensive half, which is just huge. And it's more about the attitude, that no margin's too big now. You really don't want to lead halfway through the third quarter in this game. You'd rather be 2 goals behind, because you can play like this. We've got nothing to lose. We don't have to save the game. We don't have to play with a calmness. Have a look at this. Just back in the middle, that's an aggressive kick, and then again, another aggressive kick and gone. So I like the fact that they've got this gear in them and that they are now a dual threat with chaos and control. So their ball movement's always been really solid, but it's been sort of slow rather than fast. But no, this is going to be some game.
If they both go at chaos, it will be.
Yeah, I don't think there's a choice. Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right. Lay the Brisbane Lions out for us with an asset.
Yeah, well, Kingy almost just touched on it. We sort of know how Brisbane want to play, but I think one of their biggest assets that might have just snuck under the radar, but Kingy just harped on it then about their change of gears. Early in the year, we spoke about the Sydney Swans' horsepower and their ability to break a game open in 20 minutes. They put the foot down and they kick a winning score and the game's over. Well, it's actually been Brisbane that have done that in the back half of the season. So I just want to step through their last 6 or 7 games and look at how quickly they can break your heart. So we know, we just saw some vision from the prelim final. In a 38-minute patch from that third quarter to early in the last, it was 7 goals to 1. They broke the game open. The week before, against the comeback against the Giants, look at that last quarter. 27 minutes patch in that fourth quarter. They outscored 5 goals to 0. So when they put the foot down, I don't think there's any team in the competition that can go with them. We know about the first quarter or the first half, really, against Carlton. It was game over. But then they can do it late in games as well. So Essendon, they did it early in the game as well, 6 goals to 1. Collingwood, same thing. Started, that was the only game they let slip, but they blew it open early with a 6 goal to 1 first quarter. And St Kilda and the Giants, they have done it too as well. So this team has got the ability, when they put the foot down, no team has been able to go with them. And they can do it at the start of the game because they are the best first quarter team in the competition by a mile. Or now we've seen it that if they are 2, 3, 4 goals down, they can do it in a rush. And not just kick goals, but they can restrict the opposition. They can actually own a game. So I think that is a massive asset to have coming into this grand final, because no matter the circumstances, they'll feel they're in this contest. If they can put Sydney to the sword early, sets them up. If they're chasing, they know they can do it. So I think it's a massive weapon, and it's going to be a real asset come grand final day.
So you're like-minded with Robbo here on your match winner?
I think it's Cam Rayner, yeah. I mean, he was the match winner in the prelim, wasn't he? And I just think that he is ready to rip this game apart. So this will be his 140th game this week. 6 of his top 10 rated games have come in the back half of this year. He is now playing at levels that are the best of Cam Rayner. I mean, we even flagged Kingy on Saturday night on First Crack. Cam Rayner has the potential to be the next Isaac Heaney. In a year or two, he could become a permanent midfielder and may become the best player in the competition. He's got that in him. But I reckon he's got a weapon here against Sydney. I'm not sure the Swans have a real good matchup for him when you think about it. So is it Nick Blakey? I'm not sure. I reckon Archie will try and get to the back of Blakey. This was the last time they played. Is it Rampy? I don't think Rampy's the right matchup because Rayner loves to get up high, get involved in the stoppages. So does that mean it's a Florent or a Roberts? Which I think will suit Cam Rayner because he has had some good numbers the last 3 times these sides have played. So this was round 19, his best game of his career, highest rated game with the 2 goals, 20 disposals. He had 6 clearances and he played like a man, didn't he? Broke it open.
It's amazing. So Roberts is a key magnet. Right?
He's going to have to play on one of them.
He's going to play on someone, isn't he?
Yep.
Now, does he go to a Zorko at one end or does he go to Cam Rayner up the other?
Yeah, he's played in defence. He's going to be a defender. So I think they'll keep their back 7 with Florent and Roberts, with Blakey, and then the tools. Of course, Cunningham will get Charlie Cameron. So I just think that Cam Rayner's the one to watch because he's feeling good about himself, and I don't reckon he's got a great matchup to suit.
And what is your threat?
Well, the threat, I think, no doubt, without big Oscar McInerney, is what can happen at clearance, because it was a big advantage coming into this game. The Brisbane Lions have been a great clearance differential team for the year. Second best in the competition. It allows them to either score or play the game in their front half, because that's what they love to do, get the ball in their forward half and own it. And Sydney are only sort of a mid-table team at clearance differential. But where the threat is posed is Sydney, when they do win a clearance, are the best team in the competition at scoring from it. So if they can break even now without big Oscar McInerney, Brisbane struggle to defend clearance when they lose it. So they don't really lose a heap of clearances, as we said, because they generally win more than they lose. But if they do, they can get scored against. And they got outscored heavily in this game against the Sydney Swans. And as Kingy just touched on, Heaney getting involved first. But watch these outside mids, the Gordons and Warners and the other boys react. As soon as they get their hands on it, they are off. And this speed might challenge the Brisbane midfield. You know, Neil, Ashcroft, Dunkley, Berry. Do they have the leg speed, if Sydney can get their hands on it first, to be able to contain them? Because Sydney outscored them by 19 points at stoppage in this game.
So what does Ford have to do? What do you think he has to bring against Grundy? Is he a good tap ruckman? Is he just a bullocking, competitive ruckman, just lock bodies with Grundy for the game?
He's just got to break even with Grundy. That's a good result. The problem was with McInerney. McInerney could probably have dominated Grundy.
Oh, he
has in the past.
Player.
So that's probably where they're losing out. They're not going to get the dominance out of the clearance game. Now they just need Fort to break even and hope they can get to work. But it's just a threat to keep an eye on. If Sydney do win clearance, they can hurt Brisbane the other way.
Just one question on that. You know, when you guys talk about midfields, setups in the middle, when you've got a dominating ruckman, you set up a certain way.
You can be more aggressive. You can be more assertive.
So how negative does the Brisbane Lions midfield have to be this week, which changes their entire attitude?
It's a great question.
In the centre square.
It's a great question, because they could be assertive with Oscar McInerney. They generally knew he'd get his hands on it more than not. Now the question is, how assertive are they?
They might have to shuffle around a couple of metres.
A little bit more conservative.
Change it.
Interesting.
All right, big thanks. We leave Wednesday night smarter every week for the watch list. So thank you for your efforts right throughout the year, and good luck on Saturday at the MCG, part of Fox Footy's coverage.
Enjoy.
Good on you. Leigh Montagna and David King with us on the watch list.